Hello YouTube. Well, since my last video where I gave a tour of my 3D printing business, I got a lot of questions about how I price my products, so I thought I'd speak to that for a few minutes. Up front, this is not going to be a technical video by any means. I don't do any market research. I'm not a sales, finance, marketing guy. I'm just going to share what I did, what's worked, and how I arrived at the price that I did. And I'll show you my Excel spreadsheet price breakdown with all my expenses in a few minutes here. So if you didn't see my last 3D printing farm video, I've been selling 3D printed products for 2 years now. It's my full-time job. The first year in business, I had 3 different products. I sold a total of 3,000 units. My second year, I had 6 products and sold 5,000 units, so I've been keeping busy. This is the first product that I ever sold. It's a exhaust adapter. I started my journey selling on Etsy. I quickly moved to Amazon, loved it, then hated it, and then moved to my own website hosted by Shopify. And I'll share more about my experience with those 3 different selling platforms in a future video. For the last 2 years, I've sold this product for 25 bucks. How did I arrive at that price? Well, I just started with what I wanted to make. We've all had jobs where we didn't get paid what we felt like we were worth. And I'm like, you know, this is where I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with what I feel like I'm worth. And so adding up everything together, running the printer, doing some post-process sanding, bubble wrapping it, packaging, printing a label, making a trip to the post office, I would say to myself, you know, would I do this for 5 bucks? And thinking about it, my time's more valuable to me these days. I'm 35, I'm married, I have a baby boy. My time's just more valuable to me now than it was in my 20s. And for 5 bucks, I'm like, it's just not worth my time. Then I'd ask myself the question, okay, well, what if you made $10 to $15 profit per piece? Would that be worth it to you then? And that was a price point at which I felt comfortable and that was worth my time. So I started with what I wanted to make, then I added all my expenses on top of that, and that's how I arrived at 25 bucks for this part. So let's go jump into my Excel spreadsheet and I'll just show you that breakdown. So this is the first spreadsheet that I came up with for that first part. Every other future part that I came up with was just kind of based off this same chart. It's just very basic, but it's worked well for me. This has changed a lot since the beginning. Moving from Amazon to Shopify, I saved a lot in seller fees, but I don't feel like I need to make any more on this product than I do, so I passed the savings to the customer and lowered the price from 25 to 20 bucks, which is what it's selling for now. I also have an employee here that does a lot of printing and packaging for me, so that's changed a little bit too, but let's go over it. So right now I'm selling it for 20. I got my material costs. Here I have my filaments. Using Overture, I can get 17 parts per roll, and this actually includes one failure. I have that baked in if one part just doesn't work for whatever. So that's $1.29 material there. I ship this right now in a poly mailer for 36 cents. And shipping label, which is almost negligible, 4 cents, but I put that in there anyways. So I hired a family member to help me keep up with production because I was getting busy. So in the contractor section, we have print and package, paying them 4 bucks for that. And then for their trip to the post office, another $1 for that, for their time and gas on that. Seller fees, don't forget about those. Shopify, pretty low fees, which is great. 2.6% plus 30 cents per transaction. I also have baked in there the subscription fee that I pay. And then most people who purchase one of my products purchase through PayPal. PayPal charges about 3 to 4%, so I have that baked in there too. And then I pay for shipping. I offer free shipping, and the shipping label costs about 4 bucks on average. So that's there. So all said and done, I make $7.42 off this part. When I was doing it myself, not paying a contractor, I think on Amazon, I think I was right at about $12.50. So that's what it was. But now hired someone to keep up with production. I don't mind making less because I do a little less work. I just do a little more managing these days. So I use this template for all my subsequent parts. I have a part that's twice the size of this one, and I just kind of did about double the price-ish. So not an exact science, just kind of whatever seemed right as far as size and function and what kind of part it was, things like that. You know, one thing I noticed is I see a lot of 3D printed parts or STL files on Etsy for super cheap, at least in my opinion. I mean, it's your business. You run it however you want. You know more about it than I do. Who am I to say otherwise? But some of you guys have products that are stinking brilliant. Like, I'm looking at my thing and I'm like, this is a boring piece of plastic to what you're selling. Like, yeah, crazy, amazing, super genius things that I wish I had 10 years ago. And I'm looking at the price going, man, you could charge double and I'd still pay you more for this. So if you have a one-of-a-kind item that no one else is selling, you could totally sell more for it. It takes a little while to develop confidence if you're just starting out. I struggled with tons of insecurity starting out. There were so many times where, you know, I'm selling this thing and I would just have an insecure moment like, who the heck am I to charge 25 bucks for a piece of plastic? But what I would always come back to is a product's value is not found in what material it's made out of. It's found in the problems that it solves for people, right? It's found in the value that it adds for people. If you have a product that is saving people time, money, eliminating headaches, making their lives easier, that has a lot of value. There's some products out there that are just consumer products that we just expect to pay a couple bucks for, and there's 100 of them out there. But, you know, for this, at least when I started selling it, it was a one of a kind. No one else was selling this thing, and it offered a lot of value to people. It eliminated a problem that was a huge headache for a lot of people. I was, you know, as leaking fumes out of that laser cutter, the hose was leaking a lot of fumes, and this helped solve that problem. So don't be afraid to charge a little more if you have one of those products that's one of a kind that no one else is selling, that's solving problems for people. If you have not started selling a product and that's just your dream to sell products, take the plunge, make mistakes, sell a part for way too cheap and hate the experience, sell a part for way too much and watch it sit for 3 months and no one buys it. That's all part of the learning journey. So just take a step, see what happens, learn from it. I hope some of this was helpful to you guys. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you want to connect, shoot me an email. I wish you guys the best on your 3D printing journeys or whatever journey that you're on. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.